All right, welcome guys. In today's video, we have a very exciting interview with Nick, who's the CEO of Yay Games and also the creator of Boldpoint. And as you probably already figured out, we're going to be talking about the game Boldpoint today. All right, Nick, how's it going?
It's everything great. Hello, guys. Nice to see you all.
Everything except Bitcoin looks really good at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, man. So maybe you could start off by introducing yourself. Talk a little bit about your history in this industry, and maybe a little bit about Yay Games. The company behind Ballpoint.
Yeah, of course. So, I already around 15, 16 years in IT and especially in IT management stuff. And I was working for NVIDIA for 4 years. So I'm pretty related to the game dev niche and all the company behind this, the companies. And I also worked for telecom companies. I have my own consultancy agency with related to IT management and all this stuff and the processes. And in 2015, I founded the company Create Games in the first place. The main idea and the main business direction was to acquire the licenses for the games from Chinese market and distribute them to the Western markets, to United States, to Europe. So we were like a publishing company, and we become like top 3 company, like publishing company in CIS region. That time, the pike was in 2017, I guess. And after that, I reoriented myself more to the crypto because it was already one success story. It was behind, so I wasn't involved much into the business operating. So I started like we discussed before the show, more like a trader, like investor. I'm at that time looked more for the gems, for the interesting coins to invest, interesting projects. I made analysis by myself, reviewing the teams, the white papers, all this stuff. And then I decided to combine my few expertises, and I united with the guys from Indacoin actually, and we decided to build a gamify related company, and we more focused on it wasn't like a company actually, but we tried to gather people to create interesting products, and we started from the marketplace idea, and I wanted to repeat my previous success with a publishing company, but I wanted to create the portal where I will represent GameFi projects at the first place. But at a certain point, I decided to shift the idea more to the launchpad and to NFT marketplace and create my own GameFi, like the game itself, because the business model of publishing within GameFi niche, it was not so sustainable, and it's hard to add the revenue streams behind it. And if we add the token, so the utility of this token, it's hard to imagine how we can add some, for example, the profits from market making, or the profits from I don't know, the traditional revenue streams behind this. It's a difficult thing. So we starting to analyze the market and thinking what kind of products we can launch, and we started from the Zeus launchpad, and we tried to get into the niche of exclusively we're trying to launch GameFi projects in the first place within the Zeus, and we created already 2 versions of the Zeus. and now we're working on the third version. And I think this would be really a positive news for the AI token, because when we become more focused on Ballpoint, we postponed the development on the AI products, of course, because we have a limited amount of resources. So it's like the good news for the AI community that we will return to the development pretty soon, and I will publish the certain technical requirements for the next Zeus version, maybe in a few weeks from now.
All right, so that you have quite a lot of experience in the industry already, and it's pretty cool to see. I tried a demo today, and it took me it took me forever to get over like the first wave. I didn't really understand. Then I gotta get going, and I think it's pretty exciting. I really do like that, and I'm a huge fan of fantasy RPGs. So, played in the past. I played a lot of World of Warcraft and DAO and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that type of game, and I can really see the the interesting thing here with having a GameFi experience and having an NFT experience in a fantasy RPG. So I think it's a perfect mix, because in a fantasy RPG, I mean the loot system and the stuff that you gather, the potions and stuff like that, is such a huge part of the game, right? And the mechanics of the game. And if you can, make NFTs or stuff like that, I'm really exciting to see the future of gaming, because I really do believe this is the future of gaming. So is that perhaps why you've chosen to create a fantasy RPG game or something like that, right?
Actually, yeah, because it's pretty obvious that the assets, if we're speaking about this genre, it's everything like built around acquiring the certain in-game assets. For example, if you're playing, World of Warcraft or Diablo or something like that, you're pursuing like the best loot you can have. You're fighting the monsters to get the loot. So it was pretty obvious decision to build the game around that setting and around the needs to receive to fight for the loot, because in our case the loot are all the equipment are NFTs, and we already have our own NFT marketplace called Loot. So yeah. And actually, I wanted to mention that, like, a few words about the Loot NFT marketplace, how we decided to create it, and what's the value of this product, because it's not really transparent and clear about the value. So we now creating the smart contract builder product. It's like a SaaS solution when like third-party GameFi teams, companies, if they don't have like the big teams behind, they can just allow themselves to buy cost-effective solution, like already preset smart, like the bunch of smart contracts, like vesting, GameFi core, like token, everything. And it would be cheaper and more cost-effective than to handle our own the team of developers with the Solidity, expensive engineers, and everything like that. So one of the smart contracts is the NFT marketplace that we are providing for the third party. And the idea behind Loot is that if we're providing NFT marketplace to the certain company, and they implemented this it to their game with their unique design and everything. So if they add in assets to their NFT marketplace, they can like natively add to the Loot, and they would be available by AI token. So this is an idea to build like a hub, and the more NFT smart contracts we are selling out, the more assets appearing in the Loot NFT marketplace. So
All right, so it's not only a dedicated marketplace for Boldpoint, it's also a type of framework that you could provide to third parties as well, so they can integrate in their product, right? Right. So I think you froze right here. Let's see if we can get him back. And while we wait, I would recommend that you guys go to let's see. All right, here we go. He's back. Let's see if I can add him again. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments if you have any questions from Nick. And if you want to check out Boldpoint, you can go to the description and use the link in the description. Make sure to give them a follow on Twitter as well to get you.
Looks like something happens with the connection. I'm not sure.
I think you're back now. Can you hear me? All right, can you hear me? No, I think. All right, let's see if I can. We'll have a private chat here where I can write in. Seems like the connection is a bit wobbly. Maybe he's running on Bitcoin. I thought that was pretty funny. All right, so while we're waiting, you should definitely go to, let me bring it up here, right, so I can share my screen. See if I can do that, and we'll take a look at some stuff here. All right, seems like I'm alone. Well, hope you guys are doing great. Let's let's take a pause here and let's take a look at what do you guys want to take a look at? Let's take a look at Nick because he's back. All right, can you hear me? No, it seems like he can't hear me.
Hey,
Hey, can you hear me now?
yeah. I don't know. Probably it's my internet connection or.
Yeah, probably. Shit happens. We've only been gone for a minute or two, so that's okay. We talked about the NFT marketplace, right? And you said something very interesting here that so it's not only a marketplace for the game. It's like a framework that you can deliver and offer to third party. So with what I'm seeing is like within this game, there's more than one product, right? There's the game, and then you're developing also a framework for an NFT marketplace, right? And that's pretty interesting, especially from an investor point of view, right? Because you're not only investing in a game, you're investing in a much more than that, right? An NFT marketplace as well. Before we go into any details of the GameFi mechanics, maybe you could tell us a little about the the storyline of the game, the plot of the game, right?
Yeah. So actually, the plot is pretty simple. So there is a kind of race of the warriors, and they they fighting in the universe against other races, and they need to feel their energy by conquering new worlds and soaking energy from these wars. And it's a extremely simple explanation. And they attacking the world of Boldpoint. So the people of this world, the nations, united to fight against these invaders, something like that. We have
sounds like a pretty basic fantasy storyline, which is great because it's
simple. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people like that. It's great to build something around that aspect. So, what is it possible to is it possible to play this for free? And if it is, like, how do you level up? How do you skill up? And what's the play to earn mechanics of this?
So actually, the basic build would be around the same battle scheme, this auto battler genre, and everything will like developing around this, around fighting with the new waves of the monsters that are getting tougher and tougher. And of course, there would be a free-to-play version, and there would be kind of two ways to play free for free. So the first thing, you can just not allow yourself to not buy BPT, and for example, you will suffer from like lack of health potions, energy potions, mana potions. So it would be hard to get to the top tier waves, but it would be absolutely free, and you need to have energy when you enabling the next wave, and this energy can be gathered in time. So you, for example, you need to wait for a few hours to start the new wave, or you can buy energy potion and start immediately. So it's a classic mechanic. And another way, it wouldn't be available from the beginning, but we creating the like the version of the game on the side chain where all the assets would be for free and you can progress pretty fast. But when you want to transfer your character to the main net, you need to pay for all the transactions you did in the test net. So it's also like an onboarding mechanism, onboarding scheme, so people can be more familiar with the gameplay without spending any money for that.
All right, that's perfect. Is it kind of like you can try it out without any paying anything?
Yeah, and actually, you asked about the play turn part in the game. So there would be few, but from the beginning, we implementing only the following thing. So there would be in-game farming pool, and there would be the certain APR, and we are connecting your gaming progress with the like APR reward. So the further you get inside the game, the bigger reward you will receive, and it would be like a pretty big multiplier to the standard APR. So it would be relevant to spend BPT to buy BPT from the market and spend it to in-game assets to get further, because it would be paid off by the rewards of the like in-game farming pool. So that would be the first play turn mechanism.
Yeah, and I guess the simplest way of doing it. I mean, you have an NFT marketplace, and all the items and everything is going to be NFTs. So you'll be able to sell
Of
rare
course,
items
yeah.
as NFTs as well. And I think that's probably going to be perhaps at the core of the economy, right? The NFT marketplace.
Yeah, of course. That's like an obvious part, and we created something like a farming pool with the rewards. Yeah, because we will create kind of ladder of the players that are progressing at the moment, and we will like make the snapshots every probably month, and receiving like the top 100 or top 1,000 players, so they will receive the certain multiplier that will depend from their place in the ladder. So yeah.
All right, it's kind of like a competition or against to get as high up on that ladder as possible, right?
Yeah.
You also talk about in the coin, right? And I'm seeing some pretty big partnerships, with other products, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and how you think that will empower the game.
Actually, empowered from the beginning. So now I'm actually, it's kind of spoiler, but I'm creating the one roof, like to unite all the ecosystem products and also Ballpoint, and I'm creating the company that would called Unify Group, and we will unite our products there, and we'll provide a certain amount of services like outsourced like development for like blockchain development, like also marketing services, advising services. So all of this, including the products, like naming like under the products, I mean the Zeus Launchpad, the Ballpoint, and NFT Marketplace, of course, smart contract builder, and the guild. We are working now on like establishing our own guild because it's pretty trendy, and we want to empower Ballpoint with our own guild, of course. So we contacting with dozens of guilds, I think, in the market. But I realized that like the GameFi projects that already existed, it's not enough guilds to cover all the games. It's a pretty interesting situation. So like GameFi projects, they're fighting to among each other to like have an agreement with a certain guild, and it's interesting thing, and I want to like create this business direction as well this year.
All right, so that's pretty interesting. I like that. So for people that's watching this and they have no idea about GameFi or anything like that, maybe you're talking about the guilds, right? And maybe you could describe like what do you mean by that, and what's the idea behind that, because it does look sound pretty exciting to kind of unify it.
Of course. So the guild in a crypto way, they have various business mechanics and business models, but the most common one is when you fundraising the initial money from investors or from the community, or you already have the certain amount of funds, and you came to the GameFi projects and saying them, okay, I want to buy the huge amount of NFT assets, or like your token if it's like strongly related to the game, with the certain discount, let's say like 40% discount, and you already have the certain community, or you're spending the part of the money you fundraise to build the community, and you distribute within this community those NFT assets that you received with like an OTC deal with a certain discount. But this discount, of course, it's slightly less that you received from the, let's say you're distributing NFT assets with the 20% discount. So you have this difference as a profit, and you building the community, the big community that like it's a strong power, because if you have at least 500 players that can be onboarded in the new GameFi product, you can really empower the new game. You can pump the token or something like that. So it's a kind of service, and it's pretty sustainable right now, because there's a lack of good guilds in the market. So it's a good timing. Maybe in 2 years from now there will be lots of guilds and no good games, but for now it's another way.
All right, yeah. I mean, creating a community, especially for especially in crypto, communities are extremely important, and creating communities around for a game like Ballpoint is obviously very very important. So you talked some about your future plans, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about the what's next for Ballpoint, what's the next development, and like what's your vision for the future of Ballpoint, right?
Yeah, of course. So actually the first issue we are confronting right now, I just want to tell the community why we slightly delaying the first build, because we are delaying, and we wanted to deliver WebGL version at the first place, so it is accessible from any device and from Mac, from PC, so whatever. And at a certain point, we decided to test the game more and to launch only Windows application. And that application wouldn't be, it only have an ability to receive an updates. So we need to deliver it in an ideal state without any bugs. And we're now working on polishing this Windows build. And after we will release it, I think in a month or so, we will release WebGL version. And of course, all the progress would be transferred to WebGL version without any, so it would be a really smooth process. So this is what we are working right now. And our future plans is to add more token utility. And we also making the game more attractive for the guilds. And there would be two token utility scenarios when people can own the certain buildings or own the certain region. And why it could be interesting for the guilds, because in the guilds, for example, there are teams of the certain characters, like fire mages or knights or something like that, and to improve their stats, they need to gather the certain item sets that fit for the certain class. And interesting thing that you need to fight the certain monsters, of course. For example, with fire dragons, with the red dragons to receive the fire mage equipment. And if you own the certain region, you can start voting to change the monsters for your preferable ones in the certain dungeons. So you can change the whole the whole region for your needs, and that could be interesting for the guilds and for the teamed up players.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Maybe so you can perhaps own certain buildings and own certain regions. And would that be? Is that the buildings? Is that something that could be tradable as well, like NFTs?
Yeah, that could be tradable. Also, if inside the building there happening the certain transactions. For example, as a building, we can mention dungeon where people fight against monsters. So if they're fighting against monsters, they conducting the certain transactions, like drinking potions or casting spells or something like that. They're spending BPT. So the owner of this specific dungeon, he will receive the certain commission from all the transactions happening there. So we attract investors, not the players, but investors, a passive passive players, passive clients of the game, that just can buy something and not play the game, but receive the certain profit from that. So we're trying to thinking now how to implement these mechanics inside the game.
All right, and you also talked about voting, right? You voting to perhaps certain NPCs in these regions. Like how would that voting work and look like?
Actually, there would be DAO mechanisms, and you need to. So you need to spend the certain amount of BPT to create the voting, and the votings could be related to various specifics of the games, not only for the changing the type of the building or the monsters within the building, but for example, how it happens in a World of Warcraft. So there is a kind of meta when during the certain game version, the certain patch, the certain classes are empowered and the certain are nerfed, and all these like decisions, what class to empower or nerf, is centralized by the developer. So we want to build DAO that where the players can vote to empower their class, for example, in a certain limitations, of course, to not break the game balance, but it would be like the meta and the which class is stronger than others. The players would decide, not the developers, and this is interesting implementation of DAO.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty cool to have a game where the players are going to, have a big role in deciding where the direction of the game goes. Hopefully, that will negate the problems with the developer coming out with a patch that's nothing like what the users actually wanted. Because we've seen a lot in the past where they release a new version and a new patch where it's just nothing like the gamers really wanted, right? So having a DAO like this is definitely, I really do think it is the future of gaming, especially with RPGs where gamers and the actual players are able to push the game in the direction they want, and the idea to actually own a part of the game like an NFT, and also buy dungeons and houses and regions and earn that passive income is really cool because it adds different layers on how to play the game, right? You could either be in that dungeon and killing mobs and stuff, or you can own the dungeon, which is it creates almost like a new class that's never been seen in gaming before. So that's pretty cool. All right, man. So we're at a little bit over 30 minutes here, and I think we covered most of what this game is about. And I'd like you to maybe explain where people can find more about the game and where to follow you guys, and if you want to stay updated on this, like where should we find you?
Of course. So I think the first place and the main place is my Twitter account. So I'm posting all the news there in advance, and then our other accounts sharing that. So this is like our strategy how to distribute the news. Yai SEO, it's my Twitter account, and also Yai Protocol is the official account of Yai ecosystem, and Ballpoint as well. So these three main Twitter accounts.
Yeah, we're gonna have all the info that's available. We're gonna have that in the description of this video. And if you have, do you have any final thoughts here before we go on this?
I just want the community to be like a little bit more passionate. I mean, like we delaying the build, and the guys wanted to receive it right here, right now. But I also starting posting the bug reports to cool down the community, because they're really eager to play right now. And I just want to say that we are working on the build, and probably we will deliver this build, like the basic one, during this or next week, but we are aiming to this week. So and yeah, of course, like in this like market conditions, of course we are aiming to build long term. We have kind of slow pace now because we have 30 we have two teams, 18 and 12 developers, like one team related to AI products, another to Ballpoint, and we also need to outsource our development to have the certain revenue stream to cover our expenses. So that's why we cannot deliver the game in a few months or something like that. So I just want to to highlight this this point.
Yeah, I think if you're waiting for this game and you're very eager to play it, you have to also remember and think about the games in the past that has been released too early, right? And so there's a lot of examples out there where, and it's usually huge companies, they release a game because of the hype, right? Because there's a huge hype, they see the initial sell as a good reason to release it. They release the game and it's not complete, right? And even there's a lot of examples. I'm not going to
Like
name it.
Cyberpunk or
Yeah, well, no, it's I'm going to say, like, Battlefield. There's a lot of stuff with the Battlefield series, right, where they release a game and it's just shit, right, and then try to save it, right, and they try to save the game, and it doesn't work because they already made the mistake. So I do think you're taking the right path here in releasing something that works and that's something fun to play. Because imagine if you release something that's not playable, people will remember that,
of
so
course.
I think
Yeah.
that's very important to be patient here and wait for the team to actually build something that's playable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all right, man, it was a great
All
great
right.
aim, and thank you for joining today. And like I said, if you want to learn more about Ballpoint and Yay Games, you should go to the links in the description below. And if I'm also going to going live in about an hour to check out the markets if you're interested in that, guys. All right, thanks for joining, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for hosting.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.